Well, this morning I said is going to be a little bit different. A couple weeks ago, we made the announcement 2 weeks in a row, probably maybe even three, that we had some different people out ministering in different areas of the country and even the world. And we are glad to be able to do this. Though those Sundays, we have a lot of people out, but we're glad. One of the things, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, but one of the things that was at our heart personally, from the very beginning of pastoring and leading, even when we were youth pastoring, was one of the things that was always in the background of what we wanted to do. One of the key foundational things in ministry for us was raising people up for the ministry. I see it in Scripture. I think that's really what we're supposed to be doing, is raising people up to not just go out and preach or evangelize or become missionaries, but raise people up to where we're capable of ministering at the workplace, at the schoolhouse, at the community centers, wherever we're located. We want to raise people up to be able to minister wherever we are. And I'm always excited when we have people that are in our church going out to minister and to minister to other people. It doesn't have to just be at Frisco Church. In fact, it would be a lot healthier if it was elsewhere. Not that you can't minister here, but we need to be ministering in other places. And so just a couple of weeks ago, we kept announcing the prayer requests that we have people out ministering. We had people in like Texas and traveling across the U.S. We had people in different countries, all in the same week or two. And so I thought this morning we're going to get a kind of a quick report from those people who were out ministering and doing outside of Frisco. So I'm going to ask Tom if he would. Tom and Amanda. Now, Amanda can't be here this morning. She's out of the state again. But I'm going to ask Tom to come if he would this morning. They were in Texas for a few days on a missions trip. And missions trip doesn't have to be out of the country, right? It can be right here. And I'm going to ask him just to share a couple minutes on kind of what they were able to do and what they saw while they were there.
So every year at Amanda's school, New Heights Christian Academy, they have what's called Mission Week before spring break, and it's kind of sweet because then the high school kids get 2 weeks off, but would have been pretty nice. But so they go to a bunch of different places. Some of them stay local. Some of the younger kids stay local. High school kids, they go to different places. I don't know if they went to El Salvador this year. A number of different. I think that was the Panama trip. But so like Lily, she went to Panama, others went other places, but we went to Arlington to a ministry called Mission Arlington. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a massive place. It's like, I don't know how many blocks worth of buildings. You're like, oh, what's that? Well, that's Mission Arlington, is this, or that's Mission. It's all Mission Arlington down there. Space is huge. It started out of just a Bible study, and someone had a need, so they helped them. And then someone else had a need, so it's just awesome. But so what we do is we go to low-income housing, apartments, or even communities, and just minister the gospel to kids mostly. But of course, there's adults that'll come along. So this year we went to a low-income neighborhood, which was new. We'd just been to the apartments, and we weren't sure how it was going to go because, the apartments are easy. Everything's right there. You got a playground. The kids, you see you out there, they just come because they all know what Rainbow Express is. That's what we were doing. And, of course, the ministry, the Mission Arlington, they give you some things. Of course, we had some of our own, different materials and stuff. So we go around, we knock on doors, we invite people, give them invitations. They loaded us up with tons of snacks and popcorn and chips and all kinds. We just handed them out day after day after day. And we had like a week-long VBS, you might say. But we got to do a little bit of street ministry out there while we were on the street, just going down this neighborhood. And then, of course, as the kids come in, and some of them, their parents brought them because they were younger, and we got to talk with their parents and minister to them. It was really neat because the house that we were at, it was a young man. He was a junior. He's 18 years old, just on fire for the Lord. And he is actually got with Mission Arlington, or they got with him. He goes to one of the churches that they're in contact with, and he opened up his yard for them to have this. Not even a very big yard. I mean, like literally, from the edge of these stairs to these first row, like this little bitty yard. And we were like, how is this going to work? Because sometimes, you might get 30 kids that show up, and we had I don't know how many block radius we were going to. And but his parents didn't even speak English. They weren't even out there really, but it was all him He's just 18 years old. So that was really encouraging. We really got to pour into him and minister to him and build him up in it. But so we seen these kids, they would come, we'd have like a VBS, we'd minister to them, pray with them. Some of them did speak English, but luckily there's always other kids that do speak Spanish that could speak to them. But just even in our group alone, we were able to, Amanda and I and even some of the kids, lead 5 to Christ. Our groups wasn't as big, but there was 5 young kids, junior high age, old enough to know, and just coming from some of them from some really rough trauma. And it was really cool to see them just get it, really just get the gospel. Not that, hey, who wants to, join the Jesus Club kind of, because this is fun, but really just get the gospel. One kid, Amanda was talking to, she explained sin because of the message that we had, and he was even like, I don't want sin in my life, you're just like, I don't even want it. And it was cool. But then I think total in our group, and we had a group of, altogether the school was like 34 kids, I think, went down there. And of course we, got to minister as leaders to these kids on the off times. But just from all of that group combined, there was 15 salvations just even from that. I know it's not so much about the numbers. There's, a lot of seed that was sown. But just as something to give you, the reason you've been praying, there was fruit in it. There was plenty of fruit. And it was a good ministry. It was good for the kids. It's good to be there even with the young adults and just to build them up in their faith in different devotion times and to stir them on to good works, and to like, hey, this is how you lead. Why don't you go pray with this kid? Why don't you go minister, explain this to this kid, and then seeing them actually, come out of the church house and start explaining and ministering the gospel, just because it's so easier. Because we could maybe do it better. We could see, I know how to explain this, but I just like sitting back and like, I'll be here if you need, but I want to see you do it, because now there's 2 of us, now there's 3 of us, now there's 10 of us. Like, I want to see you minister the gospel effectively, and I'll talk to you through it, or if you got questions. And then, I don't know, it's just good to watch these kids get equipped and then go and use it and minister the gospel. But it was fruitful. It was a good trip. Amen. Thank you for your prayers.
Hey, good morning. Yeah. Thanks, Tom. We also, Tom, Amanda's daughter Lily, was, in the meantime, she was in a place I still want to go one of these days, Panama, and they have a canal down there that I've heard of. And and Lily didn't even know she was going to do this. So Lily's part of our youth group. Come on up, Lily. Take your time. And you're thinking the whole time up here, like, what am I going to say? I'll give you a moment. She's in our youth group, and it's tough when someone says, hey, come up here on short notice like this. But just take a couple seconds, Lily. Tell us what you guys did while you were there.
Okay, so can you hear me? I can't even hear myself, so I don't know if you hear me. This is so hard. It was so long ago. Okay, so Monday, I'm just going to go through the week. I'll do it super fast, I promise. It's something called the English Club, and it's kind of how we, started to, get the people in. So what we did is we went to universities, like the University of Panama, and then there's, it was like a technical college or whatever. And we just, went around and we asked people, how we could pray for them, and if, they knew any English. We had translators with us the whole time, so it, wasn't, we could talk to them. But we asked them if they wanted to come to our English club. And so what we did, we would meet at, one day we met at Popeyes. The next day we met at, a cafe. And what we did is we asked them if they wanted to, come and, talk to us for, it was, 2 or 3 hours. And it's just we have, good communion, and we eat, and we, pay for their food, too. And so that they, get used to, speaking English, I guess. And then after that, we would, invite them to stay, conveniently, oh, we have, a Bible study after this, if you want to stay with us. And if you've been talking to them for, 2 hours and getting to know them and building connections and relationships, of course, they're going to want to stay. And so that's what we did Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we had, we, met with a bunch of the students at, this, I don't even know, this athletic center, I guess. I don't know. There's, a soccer field, volleyball net. There's, boxing. There's, just a bunch of things. And we just kind of all, split up, and we just, played games with them. They were all in, hoodies and pants, and, I was in a T-shirt and a skirt, and I was literally dying, so I don't understand how they're doing. They were, playing soccer on turf, and it's, 1,000,000 degrees outside. I don't know. But, and then that night, Wednesday night, we went to Cologne, which is actually, the sketchiest place I've ever been to in my whole life. I was low-key kind of nervous, but it's fine. We went to this this church, and they were doing a soup kitchen, and they'd never done like ministry outside of their their church before, so we were like their first people to like kind of help them do that. And so we just did a lot of like door-to-door ministry, which was we like split up into groups, and that to me, it was just always so bad. It just, because there was like 2 of us here and 2 of us down the street and 2 of us up at like the top level, and it was, oh my, okay, like think of like 1 step up from being homeless. That's maybe a half step up. Like it was so scary. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. So we're all just like standing there, and the translator's like, oh, do you want to talk? And we're like, no, like you can do it, because it was so scary. But we like invited a bunch of them to come like eat with us, and so we like were all in this courtyard. I don't know, this courtyard, I guess. And we just like fed them, and we like shared our testimonies, and we kind of just like got to know them. Yeah, my mom's the English teacher, so and we just kind of like, yeah, got to know them, I guess. And then Thursday we went to this like one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. It was just like palm trees and like everywhere. But we went to we did another like door-to-door ministry type thing. We all got off the bus. We split in half. One group went to the school. I was not lucky enough to go to the school with the kids. I was so angry, but it's okay. In the other group, we literally were like walking up in this like mountain, like the hike that we went on in Africa, kind of like that. It's like you don't know where you are, and there's just like random huts in places. And so we went in, and we knocked on their door, and we kind of just shared the gospel with them through like the bracelet, where like it starts with like black, and like that's like our hearts before we met Jesus, and then blood because Jesus, like that bracelet. And we kind of just shared, and we prayed for them there. And then we went to a hospital that same day, I think, and we prayed for people, but it was super sketchy. They were like, yeah, so when you're praying, like don't close your eyes, because like they're gonna steal stuff from you. And we were like, oh, okay, great. I won't do that. And it's like, in America, that's what we do. You just close your eyes and you bow your head. So it's kind of hard not to like do that, I guess. But yeah, we just like prayed over them and their kids. It was like a children's hospital, so it wasn't really the adults. But we just kind of got to minister through that. Yeah, and then Friday we went to, this isn't ministry, but we went to a resort and we saw the canal, and that's basically it. So yeah, it was great. Yay.